All right, here we go. Welcome to BC and DC. This episode of the podcast, as always, is brought to you by The Burn. Please check out my friend Brad's radio. I don't want to say it's a station, but he works for Kurt 93.7. Check them out every Friday night, 10 to midnight, and that's my buddy's show. Also, you can check him out, I think The Burn online, and you can listen to his show anytime you want. Like I said, without him, I wouldn't have been able to do all this. His technical support has been, the reason why this is going. So like I said, that's why I always thank him. It's very important for me to feel that way about friends and family. I'm getting closer and closer to not getting my shit together necessarily, but feeling better about, I guess, just where I'm at and who I am. It's a hell of a journey, to be comfortable in your skin, and slowly getting there. So Brad's been a big help, because without him setting up the podcast, I wouldn't be getting the therapy I've been getting from it, because it's weird. I started this thing to want to be a part of the mental community, the mental health community, to do my part to help others, and by just doing it, by talking, and then sometimes by listening to my own shows narcissistically, I'm the one getting the most benefit out of it. That and the people that have responded and said that I've connected to them, and the things I've said have mattered to them. It's been, I guess, to be cheesy, a dream come true to a certain extent. It's like I'm finally doing my part. I finally feel like the purpose is there, right? So yeah, that's huge for me. So I do need to address, obviously, the guest thing. I'm really close to getting it set up. I've finally done this desktop, so there's enough room for a guest over here. I could even be myself over here a little further. I could back the camera up, have my wife maybe moderate if needed. But it's getting closer. I have a air duct pipe to move on. If you saw in that really earlier video one, you can see the air duct, tubing, because I'm in the basement. And so I need to change it, reroute it, and reconfigure it. And then that way also my door can open all the way, because it only opens part way. And it's just been one of those things for me to set it up that way, or get it proper setup. So then I won't feel as embarrassed when people come down here and have to squeeze through the door or some shit like that. And it'll just feel more, legit. So that, and I need to do some soundproofing, and then, drywall the ceiling and just make it a little more presentable, take out a wall back there, and maybe add in some seating, So anyway, just a couple more things I need to do, and I've had quite a few cool offers from people to come and sit over here and BS with me, and some do want to do video, some don't, and so that's cool with me either way. I think it's obviously a personal choice, whether you want to be on video or not. And then also I've told them, we can talk about anything. That's kind of the open forum I have, whether you want to talk about your childhood, talk about your damage, or just talk about a project you have, or a passion, or if you want to talk about politics, that's always a fun one, right? Or anything, really, honestly. The more taboo, the better, in my opinion, because, like I've said before in the past, I think the more we talk about it, the better. The better. Because it brings that out in the open, which is the ugly truths, or the ugly things of human nature. I think so many times, especially in this PC nature, they were always trying to fix things with words, rather than just understanding that there's some ugly in this world. Certain things cannot be fixed. They just need to be understood. So I guess maybe that should go right into my topic, and maybe I'll give you a daddy update real quick. Let's see. There's been some more DNA testing going on with some potential family members, and I don't know. For me, it's becoming, well, I feel very, I don't know, guilty for all these people getting involved. And like I said before about getting their emotions involved and things like that, it kind of, well, you know, it's a lot to ask. You know, I'm intruding in their lives. I'm coming into their lives, obviously way later. And so, you know, if it becomes true, then it's going to be quite a shock to the system of quite a few people. The trippy part is like I think more and more that it's for sure, I think so, this person is my father. So it does take some of the wonder away, but it also adds layers of things, you know. I don't know if they're necessarily troubles, but they're just going to be, you know, issues and, well, things to come across, you know what I mean? You know, depending on how involved these other people want to be and how involved, I guess I want to be too, to a certain extent. Because I'm always, you know, as much as it's funny, you know, you may watch this and think I'm a very open person, and I am. I'm an open book. You can ask me anything. It really doesn't bother me. But I'm also private in an odd way. Like, although I do operate fine in big groups, it's not really something I look for. I don't necessarily want to do that kind of stuff, but when they do happen, I'm fine. I can operate in them, but it's just it's not something I look for. So that's why it's odd for me to do the podcast, but also why it's easy, because in a sense, I'm really by myself. You know, I'm just down here hanging out, and you know, you're my therapist. It's kind of funny, you know. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, not my main topic, was just kind of started thinking about it just as I was making my notes. That you know, things take time. I used to think when I first started getting into my mental damage, I used to tell the wife, like, I think however long I was mentally damaged, and maybe that's how much time I had to put in to figure it out. And to a certain extent, that's come somewhat true. But I'm beginning to realize that to get some sort of fix or cure, whatever that may be, it takes time. You know, and in our society today, we're not willing to do that. I even watch my son deal with commercials, and he freaks out, you know, like yelling at the TV, and it's only like, you know, on Netflix or something like that, it's like a 3-second commercial. It's like, you know, that's partly my fault, obviously, maybe for letting him watch too much, but point being is the patience level seems to be getting less and less and less, and we just want that pill. We want that thing. We want that easy fix. And I think, you know, as we get older, I for sure have found out that that's all bullshit. There is no easy fix. There is no easy answer. There's only putting in your time. Simple as that. It is with everything. It's you know, it's how you're going to get an answer in anything. It's how you're going to get good at anything. It's how you're going to figure out any problem, is by putting your time in to figure it out. It's just not going to come to you, you know. It's the same thing as like, you know, financial stability. You know, some rich person isn't just going to give you a handout someday, you know, and just feel sorry for you and just hook you up. You may have those thoughts and dreams, or you're going to hit the lottery or hit that, you know, scratch it or whatever it is. And, the best recipe for success, for whatever your definition of that is to get to work. Really, there is no alternative. It's only you do or you don't, and that's life in general. To quote one of my favorite old school movies, The Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi, when he was asking Danielson, if you wanted to practice or partake in karate, and he said, "Yeah, I guess so." And Mr. Miyagi kind of looked at him like, not the answer I wanted. So he sat him down and he said, "Look, man, a grape on one side of the road is fine. A grape on the other side of the road is fine. A grape in the middle of the road gets squished." He's like, so either you do karate do yes, or karate do no, or you get squished just like grape. So in other words, can't go half-ass in. That never gives you results. Well, it will give you results, but exactly what you put in, it'll give you half-ass results. So, there's only one way of doing things, and it's either doing them or not, really. You can try the other methods. For sure you can do them, but it's a failure path. It's a path of failure. There you go. Spit it out. So anyway, that's not really my topic at all. It's just something shit I was thinking about. My topic is broken glass, and obviously not the physical glass that gets broken, but it's a metaphor, obviously, for what I'm going to talk about. And I was realizing it the other night in bed. I was laying there, as I usually do, and I'm uncomfortable. And I don't know if you've listened to my podcast in the past, but I don't sleep well. And I also do a lot of my thinking at that point in time. And I usually forget them before I wake up, and but this time I really concentrated and thought about writing it down, and waking up in the middle of the night and hitting a little record, and I didn't. But I remembered what I was thinking about, because it was pretty profound. I've been trying to replace certain things I'm missing. So in other words, the easiest way to say it is I had a shaky foundation. So in other words, a good foundation is a mom and a dad, and a decent amount of financial security, so there's not a lot of money woes and worries, and also good mental what am I trying to say? Harmony in the home. So in other words, everyone treats everyone with respect, and that's respectful, right? I'm burping on you. So anyway, that's a good foundation, and those parents having their parents involved, and so there's a system of people around this hub, for this child to grow up in. Gives them a great foundation. It doesn't hurt if the parents are also, at least high school graduates, if not college graduates. Those things of that nature definitely help out, for a child's development, because who we are as parents definitely shape our children, because what we think and what we view and what we decide are important, we relate to them, and we all do it. So anyway, my foundation, well, like I've said, had missing pieces. So as we were just talking about, I still don't know who my dad is, although I'm pretty sure I do. That's a missing piece. My mom wasn't always there, mentally, and then physically too as well at times later on. But so that was a missing piece. And then my brother, my half brother, because we had different dads, there wasn't a big bond there. So there was a missing piece. For those that have siblings, you would hope that you can kind of have, not necessarily a partner in crime or something like that, but just a friend to rely on. And I couldn't rely on him. I couldn't trust him. and I feared him. So once again, that's another missing piece of my puzzle. And so if I can look at those pieces as pieces of glass, they were shattered in a sense. I know I'm using all these fucked up metaphors. Sorry, it's really goofy. But so imagine just pieces of broken glass